So here I am, fresh from watching Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, but what did I think of Marvel's latest movie? Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel every week, and then movie reviews just like this one here at the weekend. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free, and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above. I always like to see a Marvel movie on opening day where possible, and I always like to see a Marvel movie in an enhanced format as possible, as enhanced a format as possible, however we want to say that. So I did see this one in IMAX, which is the best that I can get in my movie theatre. Generally, when I had both IMAX and Dolby at my disposal, I would try and see them in both, because obviously the Dolby sound is better, but I know parts of this were filmed in IMAX and parts of a lot of Marvel films are filmed in IMAX. So I did appreciate seeing this on the big screen in IMAX. However, I did take my mum, and the seats in the particular Odeon that I was in, the wheelchair accessible seats, were very close to a very big screen. And so I will say that I felt like they weren't as good as the seats that I normally have. You know that seeing a movie, it's generally better to sit in the middle. I don't like to sit in the middle. I like to be able to escape if possible. And so I do tend to sit over to one side. However, the disabled seats were in the middle. And just because they were so close, it was really quite tricky. So just putting that out there, if you are seeing this in an enhanced format, but you do need a wheelchair accessible seat, just be warned, it's a lot. It's kind of sensory overload. So Ant-Man always does have a kind of special place in my heart. I was just fact checking myself, because this Ant-Man and the Wasp was the first film that I saw when I got my AMC A-list card, which I used once MoviePass had gone, and it's the American version of the Odeon Limitless card that I have, except the two things don't work quite the same, which is just a hill I'm willing to die on, so don't get me started on that. But so that is why Ant-Man is a little bit special to me. I've also always been a fan of Paul Rudd from Clueless. Then when he showed up in Friends, I was just like, oh yes, always a fan of Paul Rudd. So I loved seeing the trailer for this one, and I like the kind of almost like the sort of Deadpool comedy side of things, that like voiceover of the thoughts going on kind of thing. So this one was a lot like, I think we're going all the Marvel films since the Avengers went to space, and then we had like Captain Marvel and Guardians of the Galaxy. I do feel like all of the Marvel films are going more into space and like the quantum realm and different parts of the multiverse, whereas before they were just a little bit more pared down as being at least on this planet as a whole. And so it is a lot to take in of where have we travelled to and why have we travelled to and who are these people. And there were points where I was just like, this is just Star Wars right now. This moment where we're meeting these people, just Star Wars. This bar that we've gone into, this is the cantina. Having recently visited a Star Wars cantina myself, this was just the cantina. So I think if you're a Star Wars fan and not much of a Marvel fan, and you're just kind of dipping into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is a good one for you to dip into, because it's very Star Wars aligned and Star Wars themed. Parts of it also reminded me just a little bit of the Buzz Lightyear movie, which is interesting because I'm talking all of these things are overarchingly produced by Disney. She says, you know, wearing a Disney Apple Watch band and Disney ring and Disney jumper and shoes. And so I think that since the Disney takeover, I've mentioned before, I've seen like a lot of correlation with other films within that Disney franchise. But I mean, if it's a format that is working, it's a format that's working. So yes, absolutely love Paul Rudd in this one. My mum was very impressed with the rest of the cast, and it is a star-studded cast, I will say. You've got Michelle Pfeiffer, you've got Michael Douglas, you've got Bill Murray showing up in this one. And so that was quite exciting as as well. It wasn't the kind of Marvel film where you have a lot of cameos from other Marvel characters, like in Doctor Strange, where you have other characters showing up, and to an extent Thor, like a little bit. Speaking of which, did see the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Very excited for that one. So it was kind of pure in that sense that it was Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then his daughter, who I think is called Hope. And I like the fact that we had kind of a next generation coming in here, which seems again to be a theme of Marvel, like who's the next generation, who's going to support now that we've, you know, we know that we may have lost a couple of Avengers along the way, and so who's coming in, who's keeping up with the family, and I enjoyed that aspect of it for sure. I think that, you know, Spider-Man felt a little bit like that, and the latest Black Panther felt a little bit like that too, so I liked that general theme. CGI wise, I thought this was very good, having just watched some awful CGI in Emily in Paris in the penultimate episode. If you know, you know. So I thought, yeah, CGI was very good. I liked the soundtrack. I liked the sound. And I will say, even though this one is just over 2 hours, it wasn't too long. You know, a lot of Marvel's films recently have been very long. I felt like Black Panther was a little bit too long. Thor was maybe a little bit too long. Whilst this one was just over 2 hours, we're not talking Avatar levels of long. We're not talking Babylon levels of long. There's a reason why I haven't seen the new Avatar film. I do not have time to watch it. And so, yeah, in terms of length and pace, I thought that felt quite good. Pacing wise, the only thing that stuck with me a little bit was the fact that we got to this quantum realm and we were waiting for Michelle Pfeiffer, Janet, to explain to us exactly why we were there and how she fitted in with it. But it took a long time to get to that explanation. Now, I know that they were trying probably to be a bit like a good kind of thriller novel where you drip feed information as we go. She would start to tell something, then that would lead to another thing, or she would start to tell it and then somebody would come and try and kidnap them. So in terms of pacing, I felt like we could have got to that part a little bit quicker. And then the sort of bigger scenes at the end did feel quite formulaic, did feel quite like, oh, we saw this in Thor. Oh, we saw this in the latest Black Panther. Oh, we saw this in Avengers. Oh, we saw this in the last 3 Star Wars movies. And I was kind of expecting something a little bit different. I really hope that when we come to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, that they have something a little bit different going on. Because in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, as much as I didn't entirely gel with that film, at least the kind of like big battle at the end that all these superhero movies have was a little bit different, and was definitely a break from the tradition, and so I thought that maybe with Ant-Man it would be a little bit different because it leans in a different direction, but I did laugh, and I was transfixed and I did gasp, and so kind of that's what you want out of a Marvel movie, really. Will I be going to see it again? Probably not. You know, even though I do have the same like limitless theatre going experience that I had when I saw the first Ant-Man, not the first, I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, I didn't see Ant-Man in the cinema, I made the mistake of that one. I don't think this will be one that I will be going to go and see again. There have been other films that I've seen recently that I would go and see again, and I would choose those over Ant-Man. So in terms of should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one, when it's a Marvel movie, I will always say yes to that one because it's great on the big screen. You need it for the sound, you need it for the visual effects. It's wonderful seeing it in an enhanced format. So I guess we need to switch my Marvel movie reviews to would I go and see this one again? Should you go and see this one multiple times? I think if I had the chance to go and see it in Dolby, that might be the exception, but I don't think I'm going to be anywhere near a Dolby cinema anytime soon, so it probably won't be the case that I will go and see this one again. Plus I've got to try and see Avatar Shape of Water before the Oscars at some point, so who has time to go and see a normal 2 films when you could see 1? So yes, I will also leave my Marvel movies review playlist in this end screen here somewhere for you. So if you're looking for Marvel specific content, that will be in there. I talk about the series as well as the movies. And as always, please do make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on my future movie reviews and the bookish content that I will be posting for you in the week. And if there is a particular movie that you would like to hear my thoughts on, please do let me know in comments. I'm always happy to go and view on demand. Just know that right now I'm trying to see all the Oscar nominated movies. I currently have 4 booked and ready to roll. So Oscar predictions video will be coming your way soon. So again, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on that one. And I will see you with my next video. Thanks for watching.